this is an occasion that I think is very long overdue. But first, I'd like to introduce a few people, and there certainly are, all of you are important to be with us here. But I would like to introduce Will and Linda Kirby. Will you come step up here, please? And I'd like to introduce Kyle and Tana Kirby. Is Kyle here? Is Tana here? She's busy getting ready for a wedding. We'll excuse her. And I'd like to have Ole and Paula White come over, and Klaus and Darlene White. These are the old folk with the new folk. And I'd like to introduce Donna Morgan Peterson and her husband Dwayne. Donna's the daughter of Ed Morgan. We also have Bill Brown, one of our county commissioners here tonight, and Gail Stillman, our mayor of New Meadows, here tonight. And again, thanks everyone for coming out. I've got to hold a mic and look at my notes, so bear with me here. You may wonder how this all got started, but I've felt like for a lot of years that the company has not been recognized for all it's done for this community and this area. And I got involved with the Meadows Valley Memories Committee, which is an offshoot of the Historical Society, and we've been having sessions where we're recording panels of people who are remembering the history of the valley. And this company certainly is a big part of that history. And it's really time to recognize the contributions of the company. There will be more information inside the depot eventually when they have their museum, so it'll tell an even more detailed story. The financial support for this project has come through some of the money from the Fosdick Benefit Golf Tournament and out of Will Kirby's pocket. And we wanted to do this without the company be involved, but guess what? We had to get him involved. This is a big stone. And John and Will did most of the work on this, and Kyle contributed, and the equipment from the company, and Daryl Dillon helped, and Daryl found this rock with two others and hauled him with Morgan equipment into New Meadows, and he's had him stashed away so nobody could see him, but he volunteered this one stone, which turned out to be beautiful, I think. The finished work around the rock will be done next summer. I'd like to read the inscription on the rock, if some of you haven't read it yet. It tells a brief story that in 1946, Jack Morgan and his brother Ed purchased the logging division at New Meadows, Idaho from Boise Piat Lumber Company, and the new company was called J.I. Morgan Incorporated. And I'd like to inject here that Jack has some sisters here. Jack has some nieces here. Will's sisters are here tonight too. We're happy to have you. The new company was called J.I. Morgan Incorporated, and in the years that followed, the company was instrumental in the development of the community and contributed in many ways to make New Meadows and the surrounding area a viable and productive place to live. Jack and Ed have both passed away, but the company has continued to operate since its inception. At one time, it was the largest independently owned logging company in the Northwest, employing approximately 120 people with a payroll approaching 3 million. And after we had the engraving done, we found out that actually in 1979, the company had 185 employees. Its leaders and employees have served in various elected capacities at local and state levels. The company has served as a good neighbor and pillar of the community, providing important resources whenever needed, and anonymously contributing to various causes. I'd like to read a list of accomplishments. We did some brainstorming and went back and tried to remember many, many things that the company had done over the years, and it's a nice list, but I know it isn't complete. But the company provided low rental homes for its employees. The company maintained the exterior of the homes and paid for interior improvements. They led the logging industry in employee salaries and benefits. The sheds and logging equipment located by the Morgan shop provided places for the kids to play, even when they shouldn't have been there. They built the sewer lagoons for the city of New Meadows at a reasonable or no cost. They furnished water for steam engines. They furnished the land for the city at a very reasonable cost when additional land was needed for the sewer system. They loaned money to the city for its first road grader. They loaned money to the city for a pump for a city well. They furnished company well water for the city when the city well failed. They repaired the city water tank, and Will says that he and Jerry Reddy were there doing that, and it was about 40 to 48 degrees below zero. Worked closely with the city council to build and maintain the city streets and donated road right-of-ways when they were needed. They funneled money left from employee estates to community activities such as Christmas candy for the children. They furnished equipment for moving the city jail, and that was fun. We used to live across from the city jail. It was quite a little place. They fabricated hinges and metalwork for the play structure in the city park. They repaired equipment for the city, ranchers, and businesses. They repaired county equipment and met their needs when various emergencies occurred. They provided various good deeds for the Cascade community. They furnished equipment when the new or the present school was built. Company employees also spent many off hours building the football field. They assisted in the placement of the Irma Keska playground sign, furnished equipment and hauled many loads of rock for the tennis courts, and the employees also volunteered their work. They moved, with the help of employees, the railroad car to the school property without any charge. And it was furnished by the Union Pacific and is now used as a storage building. They allowed free use of the Boise Payette Lumber Company Hall by the public from the time it arrived on a railroad car till recent years. It was used as a public meeting place for a church, for a senior citizen center, and any event that needed a building. It has now been demolished for the construction of a church. They donated the land for the present senior citizen center, including their bus garage. They loaned the land for the first recycling center. They loaned equipment for building and maintenance of the snowmobile track at Price Valley. They issued an interest-free loan to the ambulance committee when they were unable to secure financing for the purchase of the ambulance. They donated the property right here that you were standing on to the Historical Society. They donated the property for the new emergency services building, which is across the street. They donated to many civic and school organizations in various ways. They donated men and equipment to help with the maintenance of the little ski hill. They donated money for the 45th Parallel Information Center. The company furnished equipment to haul rock and fabricated the metal supports for the kiosk roof. Anonymously, they have donated money to various causes. The company and its leadership never asked for notoriety or visibility for any of their charitable endeavors. The company and its leaders and employees have served as a good neighbor since its beginning. I'd like to have, that list is, I'm sure, missing many things that the company has done because they just never talked a lot about the good deeds that they did and how many people they have helped. But for right now, I would like to have Will and Kyle come up. Come up here by me, please.
Will and Kyle.
Will and Kyle? There will be a little presentation by our Adams County Commissioner to you two men, and then followed by one from our city. So if you'd like to come forward.
Thank you, Roberta. Well, first and foremost of all, I'd like to get a little emotional. My mother's here, 90 years old. Letter of appreciation for the many years of helping Adams County on numerous occasions, especially in the early years. J.I. Morgan assisted Adams County and Road and Bridge in their duties. J.I. Morgan's shop crew was unparalleled when it came to fixing, designing, and making any piece or part to keep equipment running. Whether a small job or a large job, it was always willing and able at a minute's notice to help your county keep the roads open. With equipment could not be fixed post-haste, the company was always ready to loan the county equipment to make sure the job got done, in most cases, and no charge to the county. On behalf of Adams County, I would like to thank the many employees that have called and do still call J.I. Morgan, New Meadows, and Adams County its home. It's because of dedication, pride, commitment that J.I. Morgan Company is known throughout the Northwest. With pride, we make this dedication to J.I. Morgan Company for the many lives they have touched in Adams County. Sincerely, Bill Brown, Chairman, Adams County.
Gail, would you like to come up? Gail's our mayor, New Meadows.
Well, the City of New Meadows would also like to thank you for all of the contributions over the years. And at Monday night's City Council, the City Council agreed to proclaim today, September 28th, 2006, J.I. Morgan Day. And I want to read the proclamation. Proclamation of the City of New Meadows. Whereas the City of New Meadows recognizes J.I. Morgan Incorporated for its many contributions to the community, both public and anonymous contributions, and whereas J.I. Morgan has been a solid employer of many in the community, and whereas J.I. Morgan Incorporated has been a viable economic base in our community, and whereas J.I. Morgan encouraged its employees to be involved in the community to help guide its prosperity, and whereas the City of New Meadows joins the whole community in celebrating those contributions and willingness to help when needed. Now therefore, I, Gail Stillman, Mayor of the great City of New Meadows, do hereby proclaim September 28, 2006 to be J.I. Morgan Day in New Meadows, and encourage all residents of our community to be proud of our past and look to the future with optimism. And thank you again for all of your contributions.
Are there any others that would like to say something from the audience before I turn this over to Will and Kyle? I know every one of them out there has a story to tell, but we're going to let Will and Kyle both say a few words about the company.
Well, good evening, and it's nice to see so many people here tonight, and I thank the county for their proclamation, and I thank the city. That's very, very nice. Roberta was reading off the things that we've done. There's some I guess I don't even remember, but I know we have done a lot of things. One thing about this rock, I want you to visualize that this rock is set 5 inches deep in the cement, and that took a bit of doing. How do you spin the rock and pour the cement around it? Anyway, you can think about that, but John Fields and I, we engineered it and we got it done. And I'd like to thank Roberta, because if it wasn't for Roberta, I guess nobody would have done any of this, and she starts something and she doesn't quit. She just keeps going. Anyway, my Uncle Jack Morgan was the founder, and my Uncle Ed, of this company, and they were two great guys, and they kind of set the work and the agenda for how the company would be run down through the years, and that's what I tried to do, to follow in Jack's footsteps. And he took me in like I was his son. I made lots of trips to Chicago and equipment shows, and I made a couple of train trips with Ed back to Caterpillar and Cummings, and it was, they were just neat people, and Jack taught me I guess everything probably I knew about running a company and what to do. I really think this dedication is for the employees that have worked for J.I. Morgan, and I think they should have the credit for a lot of the things that were done. I brought a list, and I apologize because I just had an eye operation. I don't have as many notes as Roberta did, but I have a list that I made out here a year or so ago of people that have retired from this company, have long since been gone, and I'd like to read their names, and probably a lot of them you people don't know. I don't know if Warren Loomis is here. He's probably one that would remember a lot of them, but I would like to read some of these names, and this is just the ones that we had retirement things for, and there's been a lot that I might miss or since then, and of course first one is go way back is Louis Sadoff. Don't know if anybody remembers him, but when I first started working here, Louis was here, and I started in 1952. And then there was Luke Nickman, Pete Kolak, Alvin Lowe, Newt White, Kelly Keenov, Joaquin Arty, Carl Peterson. He was our accountant. He could had to call him. He didn't have adding machines. He could add them just about as fast as an adding machine, upside and sideways. Celsus Ball, Gordon Maxwell, Herbert Higgins, Ed Morgan, Von Stykes, Frank Ross Sr., Ted Moore, and Mitt Nolan, Clarence Clausen, Ray Clausen, and his dad, Tom. They worked for the company for all those years. And there's Ted Millspaw and Middlecoff, who was the shop foreman over here, and Eldo English. I don't know how many of you people remember them, but I think it would be justified to just have a moment of silence in their memory. I think it's great that this recognition has been shown to J.I. Morgan Inc. and Roberta mentioned all the things that we've done, so I don't think she missed anything that I remembered, and I think it's just great that it's been put together tonight, and the company, I worked there for almost 47 years, and Jack was very involved in the company up until in the mid 70s when he had a heart operation, and he wasn't really able to continue on after that. And in 1979 he completely turned the company over to myself, Klaus White, and we had a board of directors, and from about that time on we more or less run the company. And I think it's great that the company has continued on with Klaus Kyle and Klaus White Jr. And I would like to say something. I think it's neat that the company, Klaus White Sr. and I pretty much dictated the direction of the company from in the middle 70s on. And we've had such a good relation, and now we've turned it over to Kyle and Klaus White Jr., and I think that's great. That's the second generation that has taken over and continued this company to keep going. There's a lot of history that could be talked about in the early years, I brought, I think, 6 albums of pictures that could be put in there, and I think it starts out clear from horse logging to fairly recently. But it's just there is a lot of history, and it started out in 1917 at Cascade, Idaho. My grandfather came from Minnesota. He was with Weyerhaeuser, and they established a place just there where the RV park is there as you enter Cascade. And they pretty much immediately moved to Cabarton because Cascade was going to put them in the city limits, and they didn't like that, so they moved down to Cabarton, and that was on Boise Payette land at that time. And from there they went to Donley, about 2 miles south of Donley, and that was called McGregor. And in 1940-41, they moved their operations over here, and we were only going to be here for probably 5 or 6 years. And at that time, trucking became, because everything was done with shays and up and down the valleys, and they couldn't go on steep ground and so forth. But logging trucks come into being about that time, and we're still here. And that's just history. I think that's all I have to say. I'll turn it over to Kyle.
Well, I'm not a great speaker, so bear with me a little bit. I would like to thank Roberta for putting the time and effort into this occasion, and it's nice to see all you people here. I thank Bill for his good words, and I thank Gail from the city. And anyway, it's great to see everybody. As far as history, I mean, I've worked here quite a while, 30-some years. Ollie's been here about 30 years. So we've been around for a little while, but we're always learning new things, that's for sure. And I guess if it wasn't for our great teachers, John Fields, Klaus, Will, Eldon Carpenter, we've had a great lot of great people over the years, and with our foremans and our employees, we probably wouldn't be still around. Me and Ollie took the company over in 1996, so we've been at it on our own for about 10 years. But if it wasn't for the foundation that Jack and Will, Klaus, and all the others set before us, it'd be a tougher place to live. But other than that, I guess I really don't have any more to say.
Donna, your father was instrumental in the beginning of the company also. It was a sad thing that we had to lose him. Would you like to say a few words? I think you should. Yeah.
Yes, it was too bad that my father was 48 years old when he died in 1962. So it was just a terrible sickness that he got. But I've lived in New Meadows. I was born in Boise, and my folks were living in McGregor when they moved over here. So I've lived here. I lived here all my childhood until I got married and moved to Cascade. Didn't move very far away. But I've always been really proud of my Morgan heritage and my dad, and I love it that people still remember him even though he's been gone for so long. And my Uncle Jack too, and all the Morgan family. There's 4 sisters, and one of them's still alive. She's 96 years old and lives in California. So we've got a great heritage. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to say something? Hatch? You want to come up? No? He's been a lifelong friend and business partner of the company in Boise Kenworth. I think it is. Well, again, this has been a long overdue occasion. I think it's a very wonderful evening and party, and thanks everyone for coming and for taking part. We have inside some food, and following that, the Memories Committee is going to host a Logger Roundtable storytelling time, and we're prepared to video this, and we'll be in our archives in the depot sometime when we get that all ready to go, and hope all of you will stay and eat and participate this evening. We'd really like to have you do that. Again, thank you very much, and let's go eat.